The grand assembly of Veltrax stood in silence as the Empress raised her scepter and gave the order, "Send the Royal Armada. Earth will fall." The chamber erupted in a chorus of approval. To the Veltraxi, Earth was a backwater planet, rich in resources but backward in technology. Their fleets had conquered 12 worlds in the last 5 years. Earth would be the 13th. Admiral Rovan, leader of the Royal Armada, bowed deeply. They will kneel before the sun sets on their skies, left with confidence. After all, no species had ever survived a full deployment of the Armada. 10,000 ships, each powered by quantum cores carrying weapons capable of splitting moons. As the fleet departed, the people of Veltrax celebrated in anticipation of another swift victory. High above Earth's atmosphere, the first wave of Veltraxi warships broke from hyperspace. They were met with silence. No defensive satellites, no planetary shields, no scrambling fleets. Rovan smiled. They are unprepared. He gave the order to begin orbital scans and atmospheric dropships. That's when everything changed. In less than a second, one of their forward ships vanished, not destroyed, erased. No explosion, no debris, just gone. A moment later, another ship blinked out. Then another. Panic began to ripple through the fleet. "Status report," Rovan barked. "Unknown force, Admiral. They're targeting command vessels." But there were no missiles, no beams, just a strange, silent strike, as if the universe itself was reaching out and plucking Veltraxi ships from existence. Then came the human response. Out of Earth's shadow, a single Terran warship rose into view. Its hull was matte black, triangular in design with no markings. Not large, not flashy, but it moved like nothing they had ever seen. It sliced through the fleet. Veltraxi ships fired in all directions, ion beams, plasma torpedoes, dark matter rounds. Nothing landed. The Terran ship shimmered as it warped space around itself. It weaved through the chaos like a ghost. Every 30 seconds, a human pulse weapon fired. Every 30 seconds, another Veltraxi cruiser disappeared. "Retreat," Rovan ordered. "Regroup at position 7. They tried. Engines flared, coordinates were locked, but the warp drives failed. "We're jammed, Admiral. They've locked down the entire sector." A second Terran ship arrived, then a third, all small, all deadly. And the worst part? They weren't even manned. Inside Veltraxi Command, the analysts stared at the data streaming back from the battle. "These are drones," one of them whispered. "Automated?" "Yes," replied another. "They're not even using their navy. These are just forward defense units." Back in orbit, the remaining Veltraxi ships formed a tight sphere and launched a focused barrage. They managed to scratch one of the Terran ships, a small dent in the outer armor. That's when the drones retaliated. The sky lit up, one by one. Human satellites activated. Each one released a storm of micro-munitions, millions of self-guided flechettes, each no larger than a grain of sand, but fast enough to pierce ship hulls. Veltraxi vessels began to vent atmosphere. Some detonated from within. Others simply broke apart. Rovan watched helplessly as his fleet, the pride of the Empire, was dismantled in minutes. They had underestimated Earth. On the surface, Earth's leaders gathered in the Global Defense Center, deep beneath Iceland's crust. A map showed the orbit above, dotted with red X's where enemy ships had fallen. General Mason stood with arms folded. Total losses, 0. Enemy fleet neutralized at 83%. The room stayed quiet. No one cheered. They knew what came next. The message. Back. On Veltrax, the Empress stood frozen as the broadcast arrived. It showed Earth. Then it showed her armada burning in orbit. Then a voice, calm and unshaken, spoke. "This was your warning. We do not seek conquest, but we will not be conquered. Earth is not a target. It is a grave for those who try." The screen went dark. No threats, no demands, just fact. The Empress dropped her scepter. Admiral Rovan's shuttle returned. Days later, one of only 2 vessels that survived. His ship had barely escaped, systems fried and crew lost. He bowed, bruised and burned. I failed, he whispered. The Empress looked at him, eyes hollow. No, she said. You taught us something valuable. The chamber fell quiet. She turned to her generals. We believed Earth was weak because it was quiet, because it did not boast, because it did not expand. She stared at the stars beyond the window. But Earth remembers war, and Earth builds for survival. From this day, she continued, the planet is off limits. No probes, no scouts, no invasion. We speak of Earth only in whispers, and we never provoke it again. In the years that followed, stories of the failed conquest became legend. Alien children grew up hearing of the day the Royal Armada vanished. The day Earth spoke with silence and struck with lightning. The day humanity reminded the galaxy that it may forgive, but it never forgets, and those who come for it, uninvited, never return.